Hello, this is Greg Gauss from Green Greg and Galactic Greg's coming to you on the 8th of August, 21. Time on deck is 17:44 hours Central Daylight Time. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you the universal habitat. This is the single greatest concept you could have for a home that you can live in and make a living out of anywhere on Earth or even in space. So we're going to go through this. We're going to talk about this as an Earth habitat that would be spectacular. It would be great for the environment. Zero environmental impact. Now imagine a home that you can live out of, that you can live in, make a living out of, and even grow all your food in. One home, yes, on a 1/10 of an acre footprint, supporting up to a family of 4 on 1/10 of an acre, plus being able to sell food from it. Yes, you could actually grow your food and sell food from it. This is what we're going to talk about. I know that sounds incredible, but I'm going to show you the examples. We're going to talk through the food you can grow toward the end of this presentation. But what I got today is some really beautiful pictures to see. And here it is, guys. Here is this home. This is a lovely home that it can be done in several different renditions, several different architectural styles. There's a lot you could tailor about this concept. The main things about this concept is having sufficient growing area and having thermal mass to control the temperature and a few other tricks to control the temperature. You can do solar energy. You can see the solar arrays in here. This home is depicted in a alpine type environment in this case, but it could be just about anywhere. We're going to go through this and just look at these pretty pictures. I'm going to show you the lady, the architect, who also drew these pretty pictures to me, because I've talked about this concept before, but when I showed it before, it was in my crude hand drawings. And so a lot of people just weren't getting or picking up what I was putting down. But guys, look at this. This ought to really make you feel the astound. You should be astounded. Look at this. Look how beautiful this concept is. This is a home. Now, so here's people in the garden inside in the front yard, people up on top of the main living area, which is in here, or even down here. So there's various levels and things that you could do with this home. I've got some photovoltaic rays over here. This whole wall could be photovoltaic rays. So this is one concept, one way to implement this home. So check this out. It's got some lights above and the sky above. This roof is entirely notional. You could do several different roof designs. You could do this home rectangular, hexagonal, circular, depending on where you're putting it, what your requirements are. So let's go through this, guys. Look at this. This is it from the outside. Yeah, it looks kind of like a home inside of a greenhouse or greenhouse over a home, kind of sort of in this case, but there's a lot more to it than that. But it does have a lot of growing area for food, because you can grow all your food in this home. Really? Greg, we can't do that on 1/10 of an acre. Oh yeah, you can. And then some. We'll go through that. All righty, guys. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this. This is a beautiful rendition. So, you know, this was an earlier drawing where my architect was just starting to work out some notions with plants. I think I'd have the grow beds wider, the walkways more narrow to maximize what you grow on it. But this is your main living quarters. You can see here a living room and a kitchen area. Here's a bar with stools and the kitchen area behind it, your main entryway. This could all be tailored. You can do all this in stained glass or a zillion different ways, guys, a zillion different ways. And I said the key thing was that you have thermal mass. These walls here are looking nice and clean, and it can be that way. You can build this stuff with 3D printed. I'm going to show a 3D printer and some things on that toward the end here. You could build it from tires like earthship houses and pound dirt in them, although that would be very labor intensive. The 3D printer would be the least labor intensive. I'm thinking I'm going to build one of these with sandbags myself out in Arizona, maybe one back here in my backyard, here in Alabama too. As you might know, I've got acreage in Arizona. And there's an Alterium in here. What's we call it? Anyway, so here we are, guys. This is my little hand drawing of it. And I'm going to get in and show you later why I got this big back wall on here. That's entirely optional. And I wasn't counting that as a growing area, although it could be. But basically, my basic concept initially was this. It was to have a layout, and this was it'll be 90 foot long and 40 foot wide. And it was going to have a 2-level living area that you'd actually grow food on the top. And it was going to have bedrooms, kitchens, and dining room up here, and a big workshop down here. Now, this whole floor plan was to be a 1/10 of an acre. So you would actually have a workshop area down here to be 2,300 square feet. Now, you could do anything in that workshop. You could put server farms, 3D printers, do Bitcoin mining. You could do, you could put a pottery shop. You could have a machine shop. You could put a loom and lathes in there. You could grow mushrooms or chickens or work on cars. You could put a bar in it. You could have a store in it. You could have your man caves and woman caves and rec areas and whatever. That's a huge area to work in. You could do a lot of stuff with toward whatever business that you would personally deem applicable. Or you could grow microgreens inside, you know, as I do in my trailer. You could do a lot of stuff and actually grow a lot of food in there if you want to. You could have a worm farm. Many things you could do in this area. But above here, you know, 2,300 square feet for a family of 4 is a nice living area. Then you got a 2,300 square foot courtyard here that you could grow in, or you could put these aquaponic tubes or something like that above here and have a fish tank here and actually do your growing up here. You could grow up here too. And then this could be another rec area if you want it to be, or you could grow on all these levels, including your roof. So that's what we're talking about, guys. And I'm going to show a little bit more on this. Now, my architect decided to fill this level in and have the entire basement area. This one's one giant basement area. And she had the indoor growing in this area and didn't define this. So, you know, these are all optional things. There's a lot you can do. Or you could totally skip this lower level and just have a living room, dining room. This could be your ground level. So there's a lot of flexibility to this, where you bring a car into the back or from the front, because I showed a road here. So she's got a roadway inside with a garage in the back side. So, you know, there's a lot of leeway. And I'm going to show you this. This was one of my original drawings that I've talked from a lot. And this was a hexagonal concept. So we're looking down one edge of it, actually through long way. So it looks like it's not as wide as the other, but still has the same floor plan space-wise. And this was, and I kind of like this because it showed the sun coming in, some aquaponics up here. Look at my little rabbit down here, mushroom log, some fish down here, and little aquaponics tube going here on the wall, solar panels up here for photovoltaic. And over here by the kitchen area, you got a solar panel no, this is the this is your thermal water heating here for hot water, solar water heater. And over here is your photovoltaics. And I got the ground level here. That's entirely optional. You can build this thing on the ground level here and just pile stuff up against it. It's going to give yourself a better thermal mass. And I'll show a berm here up to the window level. So this, you know, but there's a lot of flexibility. The main thing is, you know, you need your walls at least 18 inches thick to have the kind of thermal mass that you want, which might mean you get it really wide. There you can get 18-inch wide sandbags. They're a little hard to find. Or you could do 2 levels of sandbags. You can do concrete blocks. You could 3D plant this. You could pound, like I said, tires. I don't care. But this was my concept, my drawing. I mean, and I kind of hand drew the roof here because I said it was notional as to what you did with the roof. But and I had a skylights up here shining through. And all right, so that was my drawing. And my drawings up. Of course, this is hers. See, that's beautiful. I needed beautiful pictures to communicate the beauty of this concept. And my hand drawing just didn't quite cut it, but I just giving you a little historical cut here. Now here's her side view compared to, see this. You can see automatically that she is in here going all the way through the bottom level, and she's got a roof over all this. And then this is the walkway for her, but she's got a driveway coming down into here. With this particular drawing that she's done here, I'm going to show you her in a little bit. And we got a little sunroom here in the middle. I'll show you more on that in a moment. Again, that's that. This is looking down the way I drew it out from the living quarters level. And I had it just being open in front of that, not something you'd walk straight out into. But you know, that can work too. You know, I was going to have this be just wide open and you'd go down or come across. So that was my concept. But hers is much prettier. I had a private study over here, walk-in closet. But she's come up with far better, prettier drawings than me. This is the lower level in her drawings. Her name is Afif. I'll show you her picture and all that in an email in case you're interested in contracting her for some architectural work. I'll show you that in a minute. So this is the lowest level, and she's got wider walkways than I would have, and but that's okay. It's all good notional stuff. She's dimensioned all this stuff out, and she's made it real pretty. And she's got the driveway inside and the garageway back here. You know, to me, that's, you know, probably wasted space to have a driveway like that, although kids would probably love to have roller skate on that. or skateboard, excuse me. They probably like to skateboard and ride bicycles on that. Now, in some habitats, you wouldn't need an automobile, and I'll show you that later at all. Maybe a bicycle car, a little small electric car. So this is the living quarters area. And this is, again, she's got the walkway up here, and that's the garden you see. There's part of the driveways that's dropping underneath. You can see the sofas and the table, TV here, a bar with bar stools. Here's your kitchen stuff here. Over here, she's got looks like a family study area, a private study here, a bedroom. Here's a bathroom, another bedroom here, and then here's a master bed with a walk-in closet and a bathroom over here. Now, see, that's very spacious, very luxurious. I don't have to have all that. You can make it smaller and more Spartan if you so chose. This is a very spacious home. Check this out. This is the upper level. And this is over the driveway. So this is all grow area. And she's got walkways kind of, I make the walkway smaller. And she put skylights in so you can see into the rooms below. And the rooms below could be lit through that. You know, actually, I was thinking all the walkway could just be covered by a metal grate, and you get a whole lot of light shining below, but she didn't quite like that. She didn't think it was very aesthetic. So, but you could still have it over these window areas. You got to get around them somehow, the skylights. This was her first, one of her first drawings of it. They mentioned that conservatory. That's the word I was trying to use. Conservatory or terrarium or whatever you call it. Yeah, conservatory. It's an open space in the center of this house. She added this. She added this right here. And it's really beautiful to add to the concept. Here's your living room. You got kind of a foyer area here, leads into this hallway corridor. It goes around all these bedrooms and studies, bathrooms. And over here's your living room, your kitchen, your dining room area, all that over here. And she's also got, looks like the conservatory, looks like a table with chairs with the dining room. It can be anything. You can have a pretty garden in there, flowers or something if you wanted. So this is the dimensions showing the walk-in closet, the tub, two-person sink, commode. I think, you know, this could be a tub shower kind of thing. So this is a big closet, huge closet, big beds. Yeah, those are like king-size beds, what I can tell here. So lots and lots and lots of rooms, and she was showing where the windows would be. So again, that's the look at it where it's all on one level. And like I said, this could be like a, that could be the whole home. You don't have to have all this basement area. That's all optional. And this could be open, and you could just have the basement in this. This could be 2 levels here, and this could be open here. So there's a lot of flexibilities to how you could do this, but she really maximized space with this design. She gave her a lot more, whole lot more room to do stuff. I mean, she's got an entire 1/10 of an acre enclosed under stairs here, under this level, entire 1/10 of an acre for family of 4, plus this living area here, plus you're growing on the roof. Now, see, that's where a lot of homes really waste space is roofs. So if you could grow food on the roof, you would be way ahead. Now, we've got a greenhouse roof over this, but this greenhouse roof that we've shown here could be implemented in many different fashions, such as this. This is a hoop house type greenhouse. And this particular greenhouse is at Sustainable Harvesters, which is in a little town, I can't remember the name, but starts with a K, that's just west of Spring, Texas, where my daughter lives. So it's just northwest of Houston, basically. And this is a big aquaponics outfit. You might see these beds look kind of like the beds I've got. Yeah, I've modeled my bed in my aquaponics greenhouse after that, and I've got a hoop house myself. And there's his water curtain or swamp coolers, and I've got swamp coolers. I haven't put mine in action this year. I need to do that real soon. So maybe today if I get time. So again, here we are looking inside. Yeah, so what I'm saying, you can make the roof different ways. I mean, if you're in the tropics, you might just have it shade cloth over it. You may have it wide open to the air. You may not want, you might choose, you don't need all this in some environments. And if you're in the Arctic, you want the roof steeper to keep snow loads down, and maybe put some supports through the center here for snow loads. So, or have, you know, of course, you could have increase the strut sizes in here too. There's different things you can do to beef that up. This home has the advantage of being the radiation proof because the walls are so thick, and I've got thick floors above the living area, like a foot thick or better. And then you have all this would be like a foot thick. So you'd be under 2 foot of shielding if you're in the basement. In fact, I think I actually drew that as 2 foot. So yep, I drew all that as 2 foot. This is 2 foot thick right here and 2 foot thick here. So you're under, and if you're on Mars, you can make it 3 foot each level. And at the bottom, you're adequately shielded from secondary particles and cosmic rays. Yeah, because you need 6 foot of dirt, but I also had water in the ceiling on Mars. So there's different things you could do. Yeah, and the Martian habitat's circular. So there's a lot of things you can do to make this habitat more friendly to different environments. But yeah, so if you're in the Arctic, it might be nice to have a year-round greenhouse, but you have to have supplemental lights for the wintertime because then we've got that in here because we know that it's dark almost all winter long in Alaska. Very little light. I lived in Alaska for 2 years. You had to go outside at noon if you wanted to see the sun, look due south. And you weren't getting much sunlight out of that. It was like a big Christmas star. So yeah, you got to have supplemental lighting in a greenhouse up there if you want to be growing stuff at that time. Now you may choose not to. You know, you can grow so much stuff with so much sunlight when it's almost 24/7. You might choose to cut that back some, or you can use principles from Elliot Coleman, who has greenhouses in Maine, which he does no supplemental heating in, and grows stuff year round in Maine. You know, that's pretty robust. So you could do a lot with a home like this. So, and yeah, how do you cool it when you got this kind of structure? Well, you can have louvers out here on these windows or vents or fans to suck air out of here, but you could have ground tubes running through the ground that would pull the cooler air through the ground into the house. If you're on another world, you could have circulatory pipes in the ground where you force the air from here back into them and back up through. That way, yeah, and it would have to be, of course, hermetically sealed, but you don't want to lose your air. But you could do that. Good plumbing, okay? And if you get a plumbing leak, you just have to send a little snake down the system to find where the hissing's at, right? Turn it off, pressurize it, and listen for the hiss. So that would be the way to do it on another world. So, okay, but that don't like something you build on another world. We're getting that a little bit. But, yeah. Look, guys, on Earth, this habitat has because of these thick ceilings, thick walls, it would be basically, except for the ceiling, hurricane proof, tornado proof, radiation proof. If you had a nuclear event, power plant going off now, if you're not in a direct blast zone, you can put some water tubes up here and wash any fallout off your roof, and you continue to live and grow food inside. You wouldn't have to go outside. You can be self-sufficient because even on Earth, this could be like a little spaceship. In fact, you know, this is kind of like the little home's called an Earthship, except on steroids. It's way more than an Earthship. I got something blanking out part of my screen. I don't know what that was about. Okay, that's my way of the pictures. Never mind. So again, I'll come back to this picture in a little bit. So here's looking straight into the main doorway, into the foyer. You can see you got refrigerators and stuff back here. Cabinets, refrigerators. Looks like you got your little drink machine there. Regular home. Now this is showing a lot of windows wide open. Again, this could be stained glass. It could be whatever you want it to be, guys. This, you know, I'd be artistic and make this home individualized. This is kind of looking down into the conservatory there in the center. You can see the skylights options there. Now, this is kind of what I wanted to put in over all that walkway on the ceiling. I wanted to put a grate in so all the light could go through, or most of it. You know, grate's going to block a little bit. But she didn't think that was too pretty. So maybe some hybrid choice between, yeah, well, I thought even underneath this, you'd want some kind of louvers underneath to block the light in the rooms below if you didn't want it to shine through. Now, the cool thing is this conservatory, if you had that walkway or grate, in a few places, light would be going into the basement. In the same way for the growing area in the front. So, I think some judicious use of this might still be in the color. This is a big conservatory, guys. Give an idea what a conservatory could be. That's beautiful. Oh yeah, now this is looking straight down from the top over the ceiling growing area. Now, isn't that beautiful? She's got a beautiful tool she's doing her architectural work in. And then you see down through the skylights into the rooms below here. Of course, you could make that opaque where nobody could see down, or use that misty color, that misty type glass. The light goes through, but you don't get an image. Now this is looking through, the living area is behind this. It's cut off. So this is a pure grow area. This is the front yard walking out from the main entryway. You can see the grow beds. Now she's got them spaced tighter here, and they're all raised beds, so it's easy to reach to them. And here's the stairs going to the upper level going on. And she's got some stuff going on the wall here with some aquaponics tubes. You could run those overhead too. She's got a few here and on the side just to show that. And she's got this upper growing area here that comes off from the ceiling because she's got a garage door here and a ramp going down to a garage in the back side of this habitat. And underneath here, she's got some raised beds also. Now, again, you could do this in grow wraps like I grow my microgreens. So that may not be what you would do underneath, but it may be. So it's all according to what you want to do. And see here, the walls are very thick. That's the whole thing. These walls are too thick. See, that's thick. This is thick. All this is very thick structure to provide thermal mass and radiation shielding. On Earth, it's the thermal mass. Like I said, you could lay dirt on top, build a platform and lay dirt on up here. But you'd have to have this real strong. You'd have to have some supports. So you'd probably have some struts in here. This is another view. That's the garage door open, leading down. Here's a doorway coming in, and there's your other doorway. I'm talking about security. If somebody's wanting to come in your house, there's a little roadway right here. If they open this door, you're going to know it. And then they got to get all the way to this door. And you're probably way back here or underneath. So they got several places to go through before they're going to be able to get to you. So that's got an advantage. Oh yeah, I've ever heard bulletproof glass, you might want something like that. So this is another cut looking at the grow area from a little different angle. Now this is a smaller picture and I blew it up. That's why it's a little bit blurry. This is some of her, she's done some excellent work showing plants growing in here. So she really did a lot of all the lights she's got hanging above. Now these could be any kind of light, that's just her vision. She's got like city street lights here almost. This is her idea of what she thought looked good. That is a pretty vision. It could be different than that. She's got growing on this wall. She's got some grass or something growing on this wall, maybe some herbs. And she's got solar rays out here. Now you can mix that up and do different things. Maybe vines that would go up the wall, maybe trellis vines like grapevines or something could go up those walls and have a solar ray. But you have to watch that around the solar rays, right? You'd probably be trimming that a lot. It looks like she's got some vines here kind of leaning over a little bit. So there's a lot of flexibility of what could be done, guys. But it's definitely a beautiful vision. And that's just what I want y'all to see is how beautiful this could be. I mean, and wouldn't it be beautiful to be standing in such a garden like this? But like I said, if you wanted this as a rec area, you could put aquaponic tubes overhead and grow all the food you need from them and have some little rack where you can service them as necessary. And this could be entirely a rec area. You could put a pool in here. You could do whatever you want to do. There's so much flexibility to this concept. Here it is looking from outside. Isn't that beautiful? It's got reflections of people standing down here. So yeah, this is a beautiful rendition of what she's done here. With that, here's another view looking inside. I think I squished this one a little bit so it don't look as wide. So there's somebody sitting down over here at the door, showing shadows, showing sun angle from behind. Isn't that beautiful? This again from outside view. This is just lovely. This is lovely. Can you imagine how beautiful? And listen, growing stuff is one of the most psychologically good things for you. And having greenery around you really settles people's mind. And nurturing plants is a good thing. Now, if you didn't have time to grow all this, you could set up 3D printer type robotics because the structure is so well ordered. You could have it grow everything for you if you really chose to do that. You just couldn't do it yourself, or you can sharecrop your ceiling. up here that somebody else come in and grow on your place and give you half for whatever it is. See, that's another way. There's many ways you can handle this. This is kind of a different image. I like this one. It looks kind of like a night view, maybe a little frosty night. So it's kind of cute. I like that one. Just shows you. Here she is. This is the architect. This is Afif Beji. This is her email address. If you are interested in her architectural services, she did that for me. I paid her a small nominal fee for her great work. And she's a very bright, brilliant young lady. She's got a bright future, and she's working on some other stuff for me right now. We're about to restart another drawing. Now, this is the Mars habitat concept. Michael Lowry was a guy who implemented this based on my habitat design. This is his conception of my space habitat on Mars. And this one is circular. I think you need 76 feet circular to get, if I remember right, a tenth of an acre under the dome roof on Earth for a family of 4. Now, he's actually got this 30 meters. He's got more levels in because he's supporting more people here. But this is almost entirely underground except for the dome. This is kind of looking from the outside. So he's got this kind of toward the polar regions. So he's got these big solar arrays, reflectors out here that pivot around. Again, you remember this. Well, the reason I got this big wall on the back was the notion of putting it on a terrace. It's got a pretty good angle coming down, angle like from here to here, fairly steep angle. And the reason for that was if I wanted to be able to grow a tree, I could grow a tree 50 foot tall inside of this if it's like that. So why would you want to do that? Well, maybe. 50-foot tree without disturbing the view of the people behind you up here. Or maybe if they're living up here, you could stick in and you can get it up get it up to 60-foot tree. 60-foot tree going out of your home? Okay, guys, I'll show you that here. Here's a tree. and then if you get them on terraces, actually, if this is artificial structure and you got a slope, you could build stuff underneath and behind your home too, There could be all kind of stuff back in here, different things. But this is that again. Egg, a mirror underneath. What are you talking about? It's got to be crazy. This one's not on Earth. This is the same house concept we just showed on Earth, placed somewhere else. Here it is. Now this is the circular terraces in this case, and this is some of the homes. Now Afif did this. This is her taking my concept and putting it in here. Now in reality, these homes would all be side by side. They'd be stuffed in here all the way around. And now you could take this and build you a city on Earth like this. And you could even, and the terrace might be good. You may not want a 50-foot tree, so maybe you wouldn't have such a steep slope. That is a steep slope. No kidding. 20-foot tree might be enough. 30-foot, actually a 30-foot tree would be real nice, and the slope wouldn't be near as bad. So this is something you could put in the ocean. The backside of this would be high enough that part of this could be underwater, and this could still be over 100 feet high, so rogue waves wouldn't overthrow you. So you could have seastead based on this. You could have an open lagoon here in the center, maybe. Yeah, seastead. Imagine that, guys. That's a possibility. But here's where that terrace was going to come in. See those terraces? Where's this? What is this? Venus star. The idea of a mile-wide inflatable structure where each one of these terraces is 100-foot long with a 90-foot long house in it in the atmosphere of Venus. And then those rectangular type homes, or you'd have them a little bit wider in the back, fit inside of the circular pattern there. But you can stick them in there just like that, you see? It's a little wider on the back side. Floating in a balloon on Venus, a mile-wide balloon. And yes, it's plenty. In fact, this is so buoyant, it would work on Earth. It would work in the atmosphere of Earth. You just might have trouble flying over other countries. Unless we figure out some way to get around that. This would work on Earth. And here, is Aphis work on it. Yeah, she's going to take this and make it beautiful. She's going to get back to this. So really, I've got a little habitat. You know, some homes up here. I've got some down here. Or this could be like just a business area with restaurants and parks and little hang. I got a little part hanging down here with a pool and got zip lines. Just all kind of fun stuff in here. And this would actually be open with struts. It wouldn't be closed in. So it kind of looks hard as it's closed in. That's not the intent. Well, they could be if you really wanted to. So this, you can see the homes scattered around here. Yeah, and again, just to show you the difference, and the Earth version and the Earth. Yeah, on Mars it would be circular. Of course, it would actually be bigger than that. It would be like 76 foot in diameter. This is looking a long way through a six-sided structure. Again, the floor plan, okay, I said it wrong, 50 foot wide and 90 foot long, 50 by 90. Excuse me, I said 40 minutes ago, I think. This is a notion for Mars, for the moon maybe, with concrete and water overhead. Now, we go back up here to the Martian habitat. You know, Lori showed the water bottles hanging overhead, basically like big saucer bowls with water in them to help stop the radiation. You know, I think you'd want like big barrels, glass barrels, you know, that would still be transparent. It would hang overhead just to stop the radiation from coming down water. And you'd hang them at different levels, so if you had a Mars quake, they wouldn't crack into each other. But you wouldn't want one contiguous structure of water up there, one big plate, and have all the water on it, because it could rupture and cause all kind of problems below. If you lose one jar, it wouldn't be so bad. So that's kind of the notion for that. So walking back through here, this is your 3D printer. And I've got a friend who's actually wanting to buy one of these. Print the walls. And this is what it prints. This is cost comparison for some walls encompassing 2,600 square feet, basically. Two separate, that don't even make sense. It should be linear feet and how high it is, right? Oh, square feet. Oh, okay, that's probably the extra structure. Over here, their estimate is 35,000 if you're doing block and 19,000 with 3D printer. So the 3D printer could be cheap. Although I would fill that up with sand inside to give you more thermal mass and radiation shielding. Same way if I did block. So yeah, this isn't too bad, guys, what to do with 3D printer. It saves on labor, and that's why the block costs so much money to lay. Tires can, you can build this thing totally out of trash if you're going to pound dirt in the tires, and it can be totally free, but on material, the labor is going to be very intensive, and it costs you money if you're paying for it. So yeah, this habitat concept here, what you're doing is you're looking from here in this way. So it's longer this way than it is this way. So it's a little bit of an illusion the way I drew it. So you're seeing them through this way. It makes it look smaller than it actually is, because you've got a lot of room this way, more than this way. So that's a little bit of an illusion. That's a different layout. I was playing around with different layouts of bedrooms and stuff in the hexagon. And that is one of my earlier square shapes I was playing around with. And the hexagon, now the hexagon's nice because you can build them together like a honeycomb, right? And if you got a central area between them, you could open this up as a commons between the areas, or you could even have different adjacent guys could have a little piece of it, or it could be wide open. There's a lot to play around with here. So there's some of the math for computing the angles on that, feet. And then I went through some math to talk about, one thing I was wondering about how many homes I could put on a deck if I used the bigger container ships and covered it over, kind of like those 3-hull ships. And if you put like 330 homes on that, that's pretty decent. Of course, I like the other thing I just showed you earlier about using the TERRACE system. But, so there's a lot of different ideas you can play with. But I also went in here to do the math to figure out if you were going to let me go back. If you were going to put everybody on Earth in homes like this, so you're growing all your food, you got almost everything you need, almost all your food. It's fruits and vegetables. I think we need to switch more to fruits and vegetables. How much land area would you need to cover everybody on Earth? Well, at a peak population of around 9 billion people is where the UN thinks we're going toward the end of the century. So if you needed to house 9 billion people in homes like this, how much area would you need? Well, it turns out you only need an area the size of Texas and New Mexico for everybody on Earth. So we think there's too many people on Earth, right? Or half of Alaska. Yeah, Texas and New Mexico together make half of Alaska. Last was just a joke about splitting the state in two, and Texas has been the third largest state. Half of Alaska. So guys, that puts in perspective is how our population Earth could be taken care of. So those that say that we have too many people are wrong. We're just not living right. That's all. Here's a way to live. Guys, if you are living in homes like this, you know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. You're not going to need, if you're getting everything you need out of, excuse me, if you're getting everything you need out of these homes, you got your energy. You collect rainwater from the roof, or you can have a well or something else. But, you know, even in the desert of Taos, New Mexico, they're collecting rainwater on the roof area about the size of your conservatory here, or a whole lot less than the size of their total habitat, where they only get 10 inches a year. Now, they're going through a 4-step process of using it, which I'd say you could totally recycle it. But the fact of the matter is that you could collect your rainwater, or take water out of the air if you need to. You could get your solar energy. This home is not going to need any heating and cooling. The biggest energy demands on Earth are not your cars. It's heating and cooling a house. It is actually, home heating is one of the biggest demands, and hot water. You put in solar hot water, and if you put your solar panel inside a greenhouse, it's really going to get nice and hot for your water. You could put photovoltaics. You're not going to need a lot of energy to run your home, because your heating and cooling and maybe even your hot water are taken care of. So really what you're doing is you are just running your electronics and your lights and your refrigerator and your freezer and maybe your stove. You might have for your waste, human waste system, you might have a methane generator. You might run that might take care of some of your heat for your stove if you want to do that, or your hot water. But I'm saying solar stoves, but let's say you use an electric stove. You're not using the range that much anyway. So the main energy is heating and cooling your home. That's far bigger draw on our environment than is running automobiles. But here's the thing. So you can get rid of a lot of that. You won't need nearly as much solar arrays. And they find in earthship houses, they don't need as much solar as people living in a regular house. Not near as much. So now if you're running a lot of lights in the wintertime, you're up in Alaska, then you're going to need some other energy source. But you're not getting solar in Alaska in the wintertime. So, you know, there's just things to look at, things to play with, ways to optimize it and tailor it to your environment. But the cool thing is this is dramatically going to reduce the footprint on energy requirements, and you're going to be able to get your water, your energy, your food, all right here. And you're working out of home. You might be able to work from home if you are doing office work like myself. I'm working from home now, and you could do that in this basement or in a study or bedroom. You could set up there's studies in here, this concept. So you could use those as home offices. You could set them up in that basement, work from home. Or, you know, and we're going to see today that a lot of our manufacturing is distributed 3D printing. So you could have 3D printing shops in your basement and sell goods that way. Or you could, you might be working outside your home. If you are, okay. But you won't be near the pressure for near as many people to be working outside. You won't be going to the store as much if you got a 3D printer in the house making a lot of stuff you need, plus you're growing your food there. you're not really going to need cars so much. And what cars you have, you're not going to be driving in so much. So because more people be living out of their home, throwing all their food out of their homes, there's going to be less shipping requirements. So what's going to happen is that you're not going to be needing the roadways as much. You're not needing the roadways as much. We're not going to need to build as much road infrastructure. It's going to be easier to maintain what we got. We won't have to be expanding road infrastructure. Power lines, well, we really need power lines. If everybody's generating all the power they need out of their homes, maybe for factories and malls and stores and schools, but you can do a lot of schooling out of your home. We're ordering a lot more stuff off the internet. You can really live and do most of the stuff you need out of the home. You're not going to have to drive much at all. We're not going to need the pipelines for shipping water. You might need something. You still want fiber optic cables. There'll still be satellite communications. So you'll still want your comms to run your internet since you're working out of home, as long as we have a power grid. But the cool thing is that, I say, yeah, because there's things that can take our power grid down. I cover that a lot in my Green Greg's videos. But, if the grid goes down, you got your own power here. You can keep growing, guys. You can keep things going in a home like this. And hey, you could always cover the roof a little bit with some metal screen wire and give yourself kind of an effective Faraday shield and still get a lot of light through here. So there's a lot of things you could do to protect your home, to make it very resilient, to make it, like I said, if you had a tornado to tore all this up, this part here would survive. You can even make it where you'd have doors that pull down over some of these ones. There's just so much you could do, guys. You could even build this. The walls could be ISO shipping containers. The whole thing in the ground level could be right up here where this is, right here at this level right here. This could be ground level. All this could be ISO shipping containers along the walls outside and store stuff in them, and then have this between the shipping containers. That'd be a quick and dirty way to throw something like this. Then you could throw shipping containers upright on each corner and make a watchtower out of it for your preppers. So it's an ideal prepper home, guys. So it's ideal prepper home, ideal home for anybody. Why would you want a stick built home anymore if you could have a home like this? A home where your energy bill is going to be, your energy bill is almost zero. Your gas bill is going to be almost nothing for driving. So your bill is going to be the bill for building your home and buying a 1/10 of an acre it's sitting on. You don't need anything more than that. You might put up another 1/10 of an acre next to it and put a barn in that looks just like this. By a 1/4 of an acre, and then you have a 1/2 acre in between them just as a play yard. Or a place for your goats to graze. So guys, you don't really need a lot of land to do a lot of growing. If you want 40 acres, then that's fine. You can do more stuff with it. But guys, this is still a viable habitat. It's a really good concept. So I want to highly encourage this in the future. I'm going to build some prototypes and work this out. So I'm going to show you some more in here. Again, this is Afif Beji. She's an excellent architect. This is Mike Lorry's work here. So let's go through here. We'll go into the Venus habitat. We're going to go through here. Cost. Yeah, this is what did some math for how much area it would take. Food consumption. Well, can we feed the people? American adult, and Americans eat more than most people, needs about 1,996 pounds of food per year. This number is calculated by economists of the United States Department of Agriculture and includes 31 pounds of cheese. Americans eat annually on average 85 pounds of fats and oils that we consume. You can get out a lot of nuts, guys. There's nuts and there's certain vegetables that will give you these fats, like avocados. Luckily, it's just not pounds of junk we put in our system. The USDA shows Americans eat 273 pounds of fruit and 415 pounds of vegetables. What we ought to do is put our diet more in these categories, but this is the stuff you can grow in this habitat best. And it would be healthy for us if we got away from the carbs, guys. Carbs aren't good for you. If you eat more fruits and vegetables, you'd be far better off, far better. Now, I'm not saying we'll get rid of the farms because people are still going to want to eat meat, and I think they should have the right to do that. I disagree with people who want to get rid of meat. I am definitely a carnivore. Now, here's a background. The DeVace family in Pasadena, California, grows 7,000 pounds of food per year on 1/10 of an acre. using simple raised bed garden technology, simple raised bed gardens. Yeah, so that's enough food pound-wise to take care of 3.5 people. Now, they didn't eat their grain, they didn't grow grain products, and so they fed themselves with everything they ate except grain. So they bought the grain products that they used to eat. But they sold off this 1/10 of an acre and actually made a living off this, supporting 4 people. They live meager, but they lived well. They've done well on this property, guys. And I've done 2 interviews with them. Actually, I interviewed them, broke 2 videos on my Greenest channel, in case you're watching from Wacky Gregs. Free for personal use if you have aquaponics tubes overhead. Yeah, you can free your yard up if overhead you're doing it all with aquaponics, which is not what they're doing. Have as a rec area. And that's what I was showing for the Venus habitat, or just the habitats pictures I was showing you earlier. So, or if you just added the aquaponics tubes and continue to grow below, you can increase that yield because of the extra grow area to 10,500 pounds of food, which will feed 5 1/3 people. So if you got a family of 4, you got excess food there. Definitely could be selling. And again, you're probably not eating everything you're growing. You're trading and eating some products that you're not growing in your home. So you're going to be selling that if you so choose. Now, so how many people will be fed off of an acre? Well, see, that's complicated, ranging from about 1 to maybe 100,000. So how many people can an acre support? 1 to 100,000. So it really depends, you know, what you're growing, how you're doing it. So there's a lot of stuff out there on that topic. Again, this is looking down the terrace, just straight down from the Venus habitat with 20 terraces in it. So here I'm looking at habitat. The Venus habitat was going to be, it was for about 16,000 people. That was my poor oblique picture, but you can see he done a lot better job for the float. Yeah, this is my calculations of the floating. I'm showing, this is actually for Earth's atmosphere. The lift force was going to be like 19,500 Saturn V rockets. So yeah, I went through that. And it's just based on density differences and the heated air temperature inside. And your homes would support what you put in it. But you know, hey, the cool thing is Venus is far more buoyant in the atmosphere, because the atmosphere, with all the CO2 in it, it's much denser in Earth's atmosphere. So you could hermetically seal an Earth house and toss it in the atmosphere. It would float at the level of the Venetian atmosphere at 50 kilometers, where the temperature and air pressure is just like on Earth. I think it's got a little acid in the air. Seriously, the temperature at 50 kilometers is Earth air temperature. A trillion tons of lift. Yes, it will float. Maybe too well. You're going to have to hang a lot of stuff on it to keep it from floating too high. A lot more than what I show inside here, guys. But then look, I got manufacturing hanging below for the Venus habitat. Or maybe just rocks pulled up from the bottom. Can you do that? Yes. So this is where I'm planning to build in my backyard, guys. I'm planning to build one of these back here. This is what I call wood hinge. Out of cedar post sticking in the ground. Actually, I was planning to build on Mike Ayler's concept there, but I've changed my mind. I decided to build this habitat concept I've come up with. There's some dome pictures. Guys, but this is some earthship houses, just to give you some idea how pretty it can be. They don't have anywhere near the growing area that I'm showing. This is a different concept. My concept is not an earthship, although they are blood, you know, they're cousins in many ways, because they employ a lot of similar techniques. But see, this is how beautiful it can be. You know, stained glass, plants growing. See, that's almost the entire grow area in some of these homes right there. And, you know, they grow a lot of food there, but, you know, I got way more grow area than that. So here's the earth, here's the tubes to the earth that they pull the air through. They got louvers. They got screen to keep varmints out. They got louvers overhead. And they build these houses basically out of garbage, you know, other than the concrete. So they got jars and bottles, colorful bottles. Yeah, guys, these are, you can do a lot of artistic, beautiful things to a home like this. You know, it is just a lot of options to here: circular, rectangular, square, a lot that you could work with to modify these, to tailor them, to make them beautiful, to make them to your taste, to put them anywhere out there on Earth or space that you want to stick them. This habitat concept is awesome. I show them the surface of the moon, Mars, and the atmosphere of Venus. You can put these in the atmosphere of Jupiter, Earth, for that Venus habitat, the ASV5. So guys, this is the beauty. This is my dream. This is my dream home. This can change how we live. Guys, you'd be so self-sufficient in a home like this that you ain't gonna need anything hard from anybody. So in fact, you know, the governments only, if everybody lived in homes like this, the only good of governments would be to keep what few roads you have between you and utilities, and, you know, for standards, which the industry can do that. Maybe for a court system, for, you know, civil law, you need a sheriff or something to keep law and order. Just for those that be unruly, but maybe people be less unruly if they had everything they needed out of their home. And, you know, you're not going to be wanting. So why in the world would you want to be going to war with somebody? I mean, everybody could be self-sufficient, especially if we're tapping some space resources, some asteroids that replace our rare earth metals here on Earth. We can mine a lot of that out of seawater. I did a video on Green Greg's about Apollo project for water. And so there's a lot we could do, guys. There's no point in us having wars. There's no point in us fighting. We need to get out of that mode. That's the only way we want to survive in the future. And, you know, the good thing about living in a home like this, if the government came to you and put a rifle in your hand and told you to run over the hill and shoot the guy on the other side, you're going to say, why? You know, somebody told the guy on the other side he needed to do that to you. He's probably going to ask the same question. He's probably going to say, are you kidding me? What in the world for? You got no way. I'm not going to risk my skin to go over there to do something like that. What? I got everything I need. He's got everything he needs. He's not bothering me. I'm not bothering him. You got to be kidding. You got to be kidding me. So, you know, I've often said that a lot of our biggest problems is the people that run us. So maybe this would take a lot of wind out of their sails so they couldn't push us around and make us do things that we really wouldn't want to do. So another beautiful idea. It's beautiful for the environment, beautiful for your health. Your food would all be fresh. It wouldn't be that stuff that gets shipped, you know, from a field that's grown and bred so they can survive on a store shelf for days on end. You could have the freshest, sweetest, most beautiful vegetables. Just going straight from your garden to your table. No transportation, no middleman involved. The freshest, I mean, the vegetables like that can be far better, far more tender, far sweeter than the stuff that you're getting out of the supermarket today. Far more healthy, more, you know, you'll start losing vitamins after you pick something. And most of the stuff that you eat is picked green. So just imagine all the nice, ripe, beautiful fruits and vegetables you can enjoy in a home like this. You know, I've seen there's guys up in Nebraska, North Dakota, Nebraska, I believe, guy is going in a greenhouse that's using earth tubes, somewhat underground, kind of like this, and he's growing all kind of citrus trees and stuff like that inside. So year round, guys, there's a whole lot we could do here. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna stop the share. Hello, not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, bang the notification bell, and click all and support my channel. Right now, we're talking gardening. We're talking about growing stuff. You know, I got a link below to True Leaf Market. Check out my links to True Leaf Market. And by all means, buy your, because they got non-GMO heirloom seeds you can get. Buy your seeds from True Leaf Market as much as you can. They got great deals. They guarantee your seeds. So it's wonderful. There's no better market source I found anywhere than True Leaf. So check out True Leaf Market for your seeds. With that, I'm going to say, big hearty, thank you for watching and have an awesome, awesome day.